Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. So, have another amazing friend, guest, someone that I look up to, someone that I coached with on my journey. I tagged him in this Todd Falcone. He's going to be popping on, and we're going to have a real discussion on the secrets to being successful in network marketing. I'm going to put that in quotes because there really are no secrets. It is all about taking action. And that's what I want to discuss with Todd because, I was in early on in my network marketing career, I was kind of in a slump. And hi, Leanne. I was feeling that I was doing a lot of posting and praying and posting and waiting. And when I worked with Todd, I'm going to bring him on now. It really helped me get motivated to move forward and to do more. So I'm going to wait for Todd to come on, and we're going to talk a little bit because he's such an advocate to the profession, the industry, but it's just a wealth of knowledge. And I hope you guys get a lot from this. And I'm gonna also hope and put good energy that the social media and technology gods work with us. So we'll see if this works. He's getting added in now, and I'm gonna make sure this is working. It's not allowing him to come. Oh, there we go. Todd, can you hear me, brother? What's
What's
up? Can you
up?
hear me?
I can hear you now.
Awesome.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Good to see you.
Good stuff. Likewise. Likewise.
I um I
Good to be here.
appreciate you I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to pop on here and bless the audience with some of your knowledge. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So let's get
Let's have
into it,
some fun.
bro. Let's get into it. So just, for my audience that may not be familiar with Todd Falcone, which at this point I'd be surprised if they are not familiar with you, but if someone isn't, uh, tell them who you are, where you're from, and what it is that you do to help people in network marketing.
Well, let's see. I live in Bend, Oregon, right in the mountains, and from Washington State originally. Been in network marketing for, in August, will be 30 years, which is kind of
Wow.
funny. Long time. I know, man. 30 years
Goes
is like,
fast. Goes fast.
what? It's crazy. So 30 years in the network marketing profession, and then the last 15 years or so, I've been speaking full time around the world, teaching people the things that worked well for me in the field. So I've been an independent speaker and trainer, and I travel literally all over the planet. I actually just got an email this morning, had a conversation. I have a group of people that want me to come out and speak in India coming up in September. So we're putting that deal together, but I run around the planet teaching people how to figure out this crazy, wonderful
Yeah.
world of network
Yeah.
marketing.
So with that, obviously we did some personal coaching about 3 or 4 years ago. I was at a point in my career where I found myself feeling very disconnected on social media because, you see what's going on. There's a lot of posting and praying. There's a lot of scrolling and trolling. And I found my voice. I found my niche on LinkedIn. But it's with some old school methods, which is just reaching out and touching and looking to converse with people. So what is it that you learned in those 15 years actively building that you then took over to your coaching practice that you still feel people are maybe not so much shying away from, but are afraid to move forward with?
All right. So first of all, your question came in a little bit garbled. I think it's like the internet connection, but I think I got the question, which is, what are some of the things that I learned as an active distributor in the field that work, and those things that don't work. I mean, look, if we just look at what the go build a business, and we have to be proactive in what we do in building a network marketing or direct selling business. You have to, go out there and gather customers and service those customers. Then you obviously, if you're going to make big money in network marketing, you need to build a distribution network, which involves you prospecting for business builders and working with people and developing people into other productive independent units that ultimately move whatever goods and services that you're marketing to end users. So the bigger the distribution network, the bigger the check. It's pretty simple. So I mean, look, here's the deal. I mean, I've learned a lot of things in 30 years of being in the space. I think a lot of people, I mean, one of the things I talk about all the time, and I actually just literally got off a conversation, having this conversation, the biggest battle that people have to win a victory over is what goes on in here, right? Like and it's funny because a lot of times people don't want to hear that. They just like, give me the magic script, man. And scripts are fine, and they play a role, I suppose, in helping people create a semblance of a conversation or a templated conversation when they don't know what to say. But your beliefs around what it is that you do, having a belief in the business model of network marketing, that's super important, because I'd say a good way over 50% of the people that are in network marketing don't really even believe in it. Like, they're in it, but they're still doubting it. And so working on that mindset where you like, look, I know this works. The proof's in the pudding. And if you look at the evidence that's already out there in the marketplace, how many years the profession's been around, the kind of money people make, the results people have achieved thus far, I don't think the network marketing profession's on trial. But I also understand that, look, I mean, let's just be real. Some people don't get it. Some people don't understand it. Some people have a thought process around network marketing, that affects a lot of people. So I think one of the most important elements in creating success is somebody getting into what I would call success consciousness, a state of belief about what we do. And that's like an ongoing battle, man. It's like because we got to put the right stuff in here so the positive stuff wins over the negative thoughts, because the negative thoughts are, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if they reject me? What if I screw up? What if they say yes and have the responsibility of leading that person? Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can handle that. Whatever the what ifs are, and changing those what ifs. And so that, to me, and I do a lot of mindset coaching and training, because even though, having the skills and knowing how to prospect and how to talk to people and what to say, and those are all important elements in what we do, you're not going to be super effective if you're just doubting what it is that we do. And then the other big part of having a belief is in our own abilities to do the business. And that's a killer for a lot of people. I started out as a 22-year-old kid. I didn't know anything about the business, and I didn't know if it was going to possible or not. And I wanted what network marketing was potentially what I saw out there, but I don't know, will this work for me? And so we got to do a lot of work on ourselves to get ourselves into the position of believing that we can do it. So there's so many. Obviously, we're on a Facebook Live, so we got limited time, but I think one of the biggest things is the whole mindset
we have
issue.
23 minutes, and I have so much that I want to cram into even just the gold that you just shared. So I want you to paint a picture for people, because I've been in personal coaching and sales, in and out of network marketing for almost 23 years now. I've been doing it since I was 18 years old, starting in the gym and selling personal training packages. And sales is sales. We know that. It's all sales. I want you to paint a picture for people and just get real. What it was like starting a network marketing business in 1989 compared to 2019. And you're smiling because I know you're remembering what it was like back in the day, because I think what a lot of network marketers don't realize is how good they have it right now. So just paint a picture of what life was like for you 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the profession in terms of what we do, I don't think has really changed. It's the same thing we did, 30 years ago. We just have different. And if I wanted to call a prospect back in the day, they had to actually be at home in order for me to talk to them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to reach them. I mean, just so with the advent of cell phone technology, for example, I mean, we can reach somebody anywhere at any time, and they have their phone on them at all times. So, all the things that we now have available to us that we didn't have then, um, it's a different ball game. I mean, and I don't know that I don't, well, they never will. I mean, it's a concept of people sharing a product or service that they like with other people and perpetuating that process ad infinitum. But the um, the things that we have available to us, like this right here, like Facebook Live, for example. I mean, we were able to reach people in a way that we couldn't
Mm.
before. Text messaging, email, how we disseminate information to somebody. I can sit here and I could be at the beach with my kids and be talking to a prospect and fire a text message that's got a video attached to it to a prospect, and they can go take a look at the information while they're with their kids on a beach someplace else, rather than hey, you need to be at my house for this meeting, or I need to sit down one-on-one with you. So the opportunities for us to grow big business today, because of all the
So I want to backpedal to mindset, and that's you can have, like you said, you can have the best scripts in the world, you can have the you can have the best everything, the best systems, but it really comes back to the 6 inches between your ears, and self-doubt, fear, the unknown on the other side. All of those things debilitate network marketers, and literally they cause their own demise. So with all the coaching that you've done, all the speaking, all of the training, is there a common theme that you're noticing of what is stopping people from taking action and really going all in with their opportunity?
Yeah, fear. I mean, for sure, it's fear. It's fear of a lot of things. The common thing is fear. It's fear of success, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of rejection, fear of being judged, fearing saying, like I said, saying the right thing, the wrong thing. Um, the common denominator is fear, and fear stops people. And so I think there's two types of fear. There's a fear that keeps you safe, and that fear is like you're standing on the edge of a cliff and you're looking down at this beautiful landscape, and there's a 30-mile-an-hour tailwind and it's 1,000-foot drop in front of you. And if you misstep,
Mm.
you're dead, right? And so that fear of like standing on the edge of that cliff is like, wait a second, let me back up a few feet to keep me safe. That's one thing. But then the fear that we experience in network marketing, for the most part, I mean, you're not going to die doing this. If you did die, it's because you were, it was your time anyhow. It's not like you died as a result of that experience, that prospecting experience, and that worry that you have created in your mind about being, judged or not well received or not accepted or whatever it might be. So I think a lot of time, and like my whole brand is the fearless networker, right? So it's not that I don't have fear. I have fear, but it's the willingness to face that fear. But the only way you can face a fear is if you know what's on the other side of the fear. So if you know, like on the other side of that fear, this is what I get, and if I face that fear, then I'm going to be able to get that thing. And if the value of that thing on the other side of that fear is big enough, it'll force you to go through over under.
Hmm.
You'll pound through it. But so that goes down to an individual having a level of clarity with what it is that they want, and being super clear on where they're heading, like what is like, so, and like literally visualizing, seeing, feeling, tasting, smelling, getting all of your senses into what's on the other side. Why are you doing this? Like, okay, so your ultimate objective is to get this over here, and having a high level of clarity, and most importantly, the value of what it is that you're looking to ultimately achieve has to be big enough to draw you through
You
it.
know, fear is one of those things, and what I've learned in my own experience, and even the people that I coach and work with, is that a lot of where they are, or maybe where they're not happy within their
Frozen.
business, Yeah, well, it's
You're
you're going in and
frozen.
out a little bit, but it's coming through. I'm watching. Um, it's all self-derived. Everyone's fear is your own personal thought about something that you're afraid of the unknown, like the what ifs of life. And I think the one thing that I learned from you that's helped me and then helped me impact and inspire others is that once and I actually did an exercise with people on Sunday. It's getting the clarity, and then you have to commit to that clarity, and then you have to take action on the commitment to your clarity. Because like you said, once you're clear and you know exactly what you're striving for and you can commit to that, you can't be stopped. So I also learned from you that network marketing, no matter what year it is, no matter what the compensation plan, no matter the product or the company or the leadership, it's a numbers game. It's who gets to who first. It's who's going to be willing to talk to the most people to get the most answers. You're going to get way more no's than you are yeses. So talk about how impactful it is for people to truly take action each and every day, whether it's just taking a baby step or just sprinting forward.
Well, I mean, look, if you're going to make money in this business, you have to take action. It's just a pretty basic thing. It's like you can't just put your feet up on the desk and hope that things are going to get better for you. You got to make things get better for you. So, for somebody that's in the business, whether they're super part time or they're, full time or spare time or whatever they are, they've got to, set a schedule up for themselves and treat it. Their life depends on it. Somebody gets into the business, they can't expect the business to happen for them in any manner if they're not willing to dedicate the time to schedule the time, to put the time aside, and then to make sure that in the time that they put aside, they're focused on the right kinds of activities every day. I think, and this goes to it's yet another thing that people who are struggling hate to hear, but it's like, oh, everybody says you got to be consistent. Consistency is the key to success, man. What, like, here's the deal. If you reached out to 5 people a day every single day for the next 365 days, if that's all you did, then you would win. You could not succeed. It would be impossible for you to not see something significant happen for you if you just, look, hey, my game is every single day I never finish a day until I've reached out to X number of people about my business. You wouldn't have any problems. That seems super fundamental, and it is. And that's the beautiful thing about
Yeah.
success. It's not super complicated. It's the simple things repeated over and over again that make the biggest difference.
So to get raw and real, and this can be from, anywhere in your 30-year career, whether it was, as an active distributor or coach and trainer and speaker, what's been the biggest obstacle that you personally have had to overcome in your career?
I mean, the biggest obstacle has been myself, right? I think it's the same obstacle that most people experience is we get in our own way. And so this constant focus on working on ourselves and believing that it's possible for us to actually do this. I'm no different than anybody else in terms of the struggles that I've had in the network marketing profession. I mean, there's aha moments and big lessons that I've learned over the years, but I would say the biggest barrier to my success has been and probably will always be me. And so I'm still a work in progress and still have to work on my mindset every single day and still have to work on how I feel about me and that we're on.
I think that's so impactful for everyone to understand, is that they're looking at this guy, Todd Falcone. He's traveling all over the world, and he's sitting here telling us that he's still figuring his stuff out, and he's still working on himself. And well, the fact is that once you start working on yourself, you never stop working on yourself, because you're always seeking improvement to become the best version of yourself. So for you personally, what's the greatest piece of advice that you've been given in your career?
I hope
I
you can
can.
hear me because what you just said, I couldn't.
What's
Okay. So you just sounded like a computer.
what's the greatest piece of advice you've been given in your career?
Oh, that's a hard one, man. The greatest piece of advice, I, I would say a really great piece of advice that I got was from a very, very successful friend of mine. He said, look, dude, if you want to be super successful, you got to start saying no to things that
Mm,
aren't part of your plan. You got, if it doesn't fit into your plan, if it doesn't directly contribute to the execution of your plan, if it doesn't take you one step further to where it is that you want to go, then you say no. You
mm.
can't be a yes person. Yes, yes, yes. And I think even, when you and I were coaching, we talked about the whole yes
Yeah.
mentality that people have. So that to me was huge. And then, because there's always people that are going to want you to do this, or can you help me out with that, or can you fit, and the thing is, if you have a plan for yourself, the first requires you having a plan. If you don't have a plan for yourself, somebody's
Mm,
going to fit you into their plan. So better for you to make the plan for yourself and then stick to your plan and say no to the things that people are trying to bring to you. I'm not saying we just say if somebody asks you for a favor, you're like, nope. Somebody asks you for a favor, nope. I mean, I'm happy to do friends a favor. Hey, can you watch my kids? Can you do this? Can you pick up this or whatever? Fine. But people are always like trying to get our time and our resources, and we need to make sure that we're devoting the resources and the limited time that we have into making sure that our business is perpetuating forward. So that was a very good piece of.
biggest victory in the last 6 months that you've had?
Biggest victory in the last 6 months. These questions, man.
Listen,
Biggest
so I wanted to make
victory.
this a little bit. I didn't want this to be the vanilla. Like, let's talk about network marketing. Like, people need to see the human side of you. Yeah, you're a coach, you're a trainer, you're an inspiration to a lot. But listen, you eat, sleep, and shit just like the rest of us, and I think they need to hear that same stuff too. So hearing your victories, it really inspires everybody else.
The funny thing is, the first one that comes to my mind has nothing to do with business. It has to do with so living here in Central Oregon. It's one of the top fly fishing parts of the country, and I've been fishing my whole life, and I'm good at fishing. It's something I've done since I was a little kid, but I haven't been a
Mm.
fly fisherman. And learning how to fly fish and learning how to cast a fly rod and catch fish on a fly rod is not it's not easy. And so I did two guided trips in the end of May and the first part of June during what's called the salmon fly hatch here in Central Oregon. These huge bugs that are like 2 inches long, and these fish go crazy over them. And to understand that particular hatch and how to fish that hatch, to me was like, oh, like I mean, I can even like I went for these 2 day long guided trips, and I think both days I caught like, one day I probably caught 15 fish. The other day I probably caught like 25, and they're big, fat trout that are just
Wow.
super fun to catch. And just understanding like, it has, like I said, it has nothing to do with business. I've got all sorts of great successes in business, but to me, that was a pretty, that was a pretty fun experience, just to really, okay, I got that one. Now I can fish that hatch from this point forward. So
No, I think that's awesome because, there's people think that, personal victories and have to be just related to business and money, but that's something personal to you that you accomplished. And I think that's awesome. So, I know we're getting close to the half hour, and I wanted to leave people with some stuff before we take off. So, Todd, we talk about, books to read, podcasts to listen to, all that stuff, and all that stuff is great to do the personal development. What's one simple piece of advice you can give the network marketers that are watching this that may feel stalled in their business and maybe a little bit unmotivated? What's something they can do starting today that you would recommend to someone to start propelling them forward?
this is something I speak on every stage, everywhere I speak around the world. And I would say that spend the next 30 days tracking your numbers and be super clear with because here's the thing. Again, it goes down to one thing. If you're not reaching out to people, if you're not, exposing people to your products, your service, your business, you're really not in the business. And I do a challenge with people, which is called the 30-day challenge. And the 30-day challenge is they track their reach outs, however they're reaching out, whether it's a Facebook, text message, phone call, however they're reaching out, and they get really real for 30 days about what they're doing. Because to me, it'll be one of the most eye-opening experiences for somebody to look at their numbers and go, okay, this is really what I'm putting, this is the output that I'm putting forth in the business. Because a lot of people lie to themselves, and they kid themselves into believing that they're doing the business, but they're not. And it's one of the biggest problems with people in this space is they're like, here, they show up for events, Super Saturdays, they hang out on Facebook, they do whatever, but it's like, what'd you do to build your business today? And to me, that 30-day challenge is where the rubber meets the road. There's like a single page PDF. If somebody wants to download it, I can give it to you, and we can give out that. It's toddfalcone.com/30day. And it's like literally a single page PDF that they can print out, and they can track themselves for 30 days. It'll be literally an awakening experience for people that do it and they stick to it for 30 days, because that'll be a defining moment for you. You'll really be able to understand what you're just looking at it and being a bench warmer.
Before we wrap up, how can people connect with you? I know you have an amazing podcast website. Just drop that right now so people can, and I'll put them in the comments below, but how can people get in touch with you online or wherever they can find you?
Yeah, my website's the easiest thing, toddfalcone.com, which is TODDFALCONE.com. There's a lot of resources, free resources on that page. My videos that I put out every week, my podcast, it's all available on that site. If somebody wants to connect with me on social, probably the best thing to do is find me on Facebook, not my personal page, because I've got, I can't take any more people on my personal page, but my business page, which is Todd Falcone, the Fearless Networker. And you can find me there, and I'm very active on that page as well.
Awesome. This is probably going to be the hardest question you're going to have to answer. If you could only listen to one Grateful Dead song for the rest of your life on repeat, what would that song be? And you have to.
Terrapin Station.
Okay, great choice. That's
Terrapin
great
Station.
choice. I am not going to argue with that. That's also one of my favorites. So that was a good pick. Todd, grateful for you, my brother, and all the help that you gave me on my journey that really inspired me to do more and to be in the coaching space and what I'm doing now. So, you truly have impacted me, and I know you've helped so many along the way. And I just want to wish you nothing but continued success and just blessings to you and your family. And thank you for taking the time to speak to us today.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it, brother. Keep charging.
You too, brother. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.
So don't take it from me. Take it from one of the masters himself, Todd Falcone. And again, that's www.toddfalcone.com, TODDFALCONE.com. He's got a lot of great resources. Download that. Friend of the Devil. Also a good song, Demkowitz. Also a great song. But Terrapin Station, if you guys have never listened to that song, it's a masterpiece. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. Simple actions. Just move forward each and every day. Love and gratitude to you guys. Love and gratitude to Todd. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.